Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor released on January 2009 on DS and its remake Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked released in 2011 on 3DS. This is a game I hear all the time when I search for good megaten games. It's on almost everyone's top 3 megaten game list, which piqued my interest, and so after banning myself out playing 2 megaten games, especially Gita Megami Tensei, I need some good megaten games to try to rejuvenate my energy again. I'm Witty Monster and I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked for the first time. Enjoying the video. Day before, the protagonist goes by the name Minagishi Kazuya. It is summer holiday in Japan and groups of young people are going out, living a normal, peaceful life. And in Shibuya, Kazuya is also about to meet with his 2 close friends, Asuro and Yuzu. Asuro is an internet nerd who knows how to hack and is knowledgeable in computer stuff. He pulls up a comic relief character X all the time, but deep down, he is there too who is vulnerable to anxiety and depression. Yuzu. To describe her in one word, it would be normal. She is as typical Japanese teenage schoolgirl as she can be and never more than that. And yes, she has a crush on our protagonist. Now about Kazuya. He is a cousin of a guy called Naoya, who apparently is also teacher Asuro in hacking stuff. That's pretty much about the protagonist. The rest is up to the players to write their own story, which I appreciate a lot, as I always have to be attentive to their dialogue all the time, because there are always dialogue choices for you during conversations, which most of the time doesn't affect the story, but there will be minor changes in dialogue in how they respond back to you and how they view you as a person. Or in worst case, someone might end up dying because of your choice, so be careful. But still, it helps the immersion aspect pretty well, which is actually a pretty good thing, as many visual novel type kind of game fails to immerse you during the span of 1 hour playtime, whereas this game which you write from the opening act. Yuzu then took out gadgets which Naoya has asked her to give it to both Kazuya and Asuro. It just looks like a regular DS to Kazuya, but Asuro called them comms or communication players, which he thinks they act more as a phone than gaming device. Asuro will then proceed to tell them the comm needs some hackings to be done, which he does so in a minute, and a mail was sent to our comm saying a man will be killed by a beast and about an explosion and about power outrage in Tokyo. Then Asuro sees more functions to be unlocked within the comm, so he brought the comm along with him to do some more hackings by himself, leaving the 2 alone. So Kazuya and Yuzu goes to Shinjuku Kamugi-cho to kill some time, and then they meet with some guy in red suit who appears to be from Shomonkai, which is like a cult-like organization doing speeches talking about overcoming trial gods and about internet. Pretty wild stuff to be seeing cultists talking about gods and internet in the middle of the day. After that, they go for a walk some more in Omotesando until they heard a sound of siren coming from the police patrol car. It made them realize the predation talking about a man killed by the beast. So they go to the location and see the exact event being unfolded right in front of their eyes. The man indeed was killed in some unhumanly ways. The location being Naoya's apartment. They were worried at first until Naoya himself appeared before them like any other normal day. He says meeting him right here wasn't supposed to happen just yet and disappear. So Kazuya and Yuzu are just left standing in front of the crime scene, dumbfounded. They go back to meet with Asuro, and now with newfound wisdom, Asuro tells them that all of their comm needs to be in the same place to unlock the remaining function. And so they did, and the comm starts to show its real color. It is a devil summoning program in disguise. With that, devil comes out of their comms and starts to attack them. It's a tutorial fight, so you ain't gonna lose this one. After the fight, they soon realize the comm is now able to summon devils, and Yuzu starts freaking out. She wants to give these away to police as soon as possible, but Asuro asks her how will they protect themselves if these abominations appear and attack them again, so they all decide to keep the comm with them for now. Kazuya then noticed numbers appearing on their heads, but Yuzu and Asuro don't seem to see the numbers at all. Kazuya then assumes the number are indicating the remaining number of the week, as he has seen number of passerbys who have 7 on their heads, which just further worries our poor Yuzu even more. So with that, all came to yet another conclusion that they need to find Naoya and ask about all the weird stuff happening to them. But confirming whether Com can predict future or not takes priority, so they decide to go to Aoyama Cemetery as the mayor predicted an explosion happening there. When they arrive, the explosion indeed happens, scaring the heck out of Yuzu, confirming the mayor really can predict future. And then Wendigo came running towards them out of some forest as it seemed to be running away from someone. Then a guy from Shomogai appears to stop it, but just got sent into the air spinning only to hit the ground and die. And then a girl called Amane appears and urges the trio to run away from here, which they refuse of course for some reason and decide to lend their hands to a complete stranger. I can't possibly defeat Wendigo at this point, so I let Amane do the killing and just try to focus on other devils. After they defeat them, they start pondering over who the girl from Shomogai is and about devils. Things have just gone out of hand so much that they can't seem to think straight anymore. And so, just when Azura wishes things do not get worse than this, the power outrage happens, fulfilling the last prediction for today with it. Yuzu starts freaking out and decides to call her parents back, but she realizes her phone is out of range. Amane from before approached them and called them devil summoners. She then proceeds to build a barrier around the cemetery so that they can stay safe from devils for tonight and left to pursue Wendigo, who seem to have escaped somehow. Now the trio are left to sleep in the cemetery with no choice. Azuro seems to still can't believe how things escalated way too quickly and in every worst way possible, just from comparing their regular daily teenager life from morning to fighting devils and sleeping in the cemetery by night. It is just why how this game just throws these characters into this situation seamlessly all of a sudden. And that's how it managed to hook me right from the get-go, the setting and the fear of the unknown vibe. But hey, they can still use comms even during power outage, so they can at least exchange mail among themselves during this little session of the game, which just so happened to be my favorite part in this entire game. I just feel really safe and chill during this little time interval before they go to sleep. Reading mails sent from people I know who also are going through the same situation as me, if not worse. It just feels reassuring, you know. And this is the only time I will mention the music about this game. I love the music that plays in this session. It gives hope and safety like I said before. It suits everything I ever want and hear if I were in the situation these characters are in. Hope is the last thing I want to lose if I am them after all. Today's morning comes and also the loveliest prediction. It is as follows. The power outrage will continue. Poison gas outbreak will occur, and with that, lockdown will happen. The snow devil will be back again to kill 3 people. We just give 3 young people reading the prediction shivers because they know that's going to be them. Or at the very least, the life countdown above their heads says so. They seem to be worried about the lockdown, so they make their way to Shibuya Station. Along the way, they see so many car crashes and destruction. And right when they get to the station, there are tons of people gathering and demanding to clear the barricades. But the self-defense force soldiers tell them to back off because there have been poison gas outbreaks. But Azuro doesn't believe it as he thinks the self-defense force couldn't possibly build this entire thing in a single night, and that this could be planned way ahead even before the poison outbreaks happens. Not that he believes the poison outbreak either too. When you go back to Shibuya again, you will see a delinquent complaining to a self-defense force commander to let him out. But they seem to be serious about shooting anyone who tries to leave the barricade. Then a guy called Kaido appears and the delinquent just quiet down just from him being in the presence. Apparently, Kaido is the leader of famous delinquent groups around these parts. Kazuya then went ahead and asked Kaido if he knows Naoya and that if he could help him find his cousin. Kaido says he will let his underlings do the searching and will contact him back again if he finds anything new, and then he leaves. So right around here, you gain access to Devil Auction. I thought it was going to be complex to learn, but I'm glad it is simple and easy to understand. There is no devil negotiation to do in this game, but instead, you get devil from auction. There are different tires which will be unlocked as the game progresses, and with it comes stronger devils. Another good thing I find this game has is a small category of devils, which helps because my brain is tiny. I think this game pulls well-known devils from other games, so I am hoping I will recognize most devils again when I play other megaten games in the future. Anyway, I like this simple devil recruitment mechanic this game has. With the announcement of lockdown, the trio start looking around to find the exit along Yamanote line, starting from Shinjuku. There, Azuyu meet with his old schoolmate from middle school, Keisuke.
Keisuke! Atsuro?
This guy gives off bad vibe already, looking all depressed and miserable. I feel even more bad for Keisuke guy, as Atsuro was just standing beside him, being proud of his friend, like how he has a sense of justice and how he look up to Keisuke when he's saving from bullies and stuff. But Keisuke said he had enough and leave. Atsuro wonders why Keisuke has changed. In Omote-san though, they meet with a guy who seems to be Yuzu's acquaintance.
ああ、よく春のライブで会うゆずちゃんだったか。
はい、覚えていてくれたんですね、ジンさん。
He is Jin, and he is a bartender. Yeah, I figured that much. So she became acquainted with Jin through Haru, who is our favorite indie singer. Yuzu seems to go to every live show that Haru is in. Just how hardcore Yuzu is anyway. Jin doesn't seem to show a single sign of panicking even after they told they are in the lockdown. Instead, he is just worried about his refrigerator not working because of the power outrage. He is chill. And he still has 6 days to live, so the trio thought the idea that their lifespan might increase if they stay with people who have longer life expectancy. In Shinjuku, they saw a glimpse of Naoya, so they chased after him, only to be end up surrounded by devils. Clean the devils and you will get a mail telling you about Maka bonus. Long story short, weakness, reflect, repair, assault, evade, block, critical. If anything of these happen, you get more mecha, and vice versa, you get less mecha. In Roppongi, they unexpectedly see Haru's live show, which Yuzu freaks out screaming my ears off. Atsuro also falls in love instantly with Haru's music, and so was Kazuya. About Haru though, can someone do something about her clothes please? It gets me uncomfortable looking at the screen. After the live show ends, Yuzu will film in more detail about Haru. She was in band, but it was not disbanded because of a member called Aya who went abroad for music study. Still, it is worrisome that Haru has 0 lifespan left. In Sunset Avenue, they have been looking for an exit the entire morning, so everyone is on edge. Even Atsuro and Yuzu had a little quarrel, but they made up again really quickly. What a beautiful friendship.
悪かった。ちょっと気が立ってた。
いいよ、私もごめん。
Then a mail from Nazuya came to tell them to check out a new function, Ski Crack. Here it is, the best game mechanic of all time. This mechanic is so addicting, and I can say with confidence that this one mechanic single-handedly carries the gameplay loop by itself. Though I be praising Skillcraft mechanics, I actually hated the gameplay even with the Skillcraft for my first playthrough. It was all messed up and very unorganized, making me really dread whenever story battle appears, because I will be spending the entire night again grinding free battles, only to mess up fusing devils and go broke, in which case I had to do the entire grinding over again. I hate the gameplay at first because it messed with the story pacing so much that I just had to get that grinding out of the way as fast as I can. But everything becomes much easier after your first playthrough because you can just bring all your data to your second playthrough just like that. And when you reach that point, oh boy, gameplay just peaked right there. As they walk around looking for exit, they unintentionally enter Tokyo Dome amusement park. There, Yuzu asks Kazuya why he likes to ride in amusement parks.
ねえ、乗り物はどれが好き？
I made an answer Ferris wheel, but really, I never liked 3 rides, including Ferris wheel. But Yuzu is happy Kazuya likes Ferris wheel like she does, so I guess it's fine for now. Then they start to feel cold all of a sudden, which makes Kazuya remember the prediction that the snow devil will kill 3 people. They unironically made the prediction come true while they were actively trying to avoid it. Here, I lost the battle for the first time. This was the moment that made me realize this game is a hard game if I don't take it seriously and grind. Just like other megaten games I have played before, I had to utilize every tool the game gave me. I had to. With games like megaten games, they always want to make you play on fully optimized mode without forcing you. You just end up becoming one without knowing. On a first glance, most megaten games just look like a low effort budget mobile games, which is actually understandable as most grindy games end up going towards portable consoles like DS and 3DS. But for megaten games, they are packed with unseen details and complex mechanics we can see on the surface. Not that I cared about game graphics in the first place, but even then, I have grown to love megaten games to the point where I don't care whatever the game looks like or plays like, as long as it is megaten games, has its end-of-the-world apocalyptic aesthetic and Kazuma Kaneko art, give me brain-dead turn-based combat and a few moving PNGs and third-person portraits, I'm good. And boy, do these games get you addicted in ways you never expect. So anyway, I got my team buffed up with stronger devils this time and defeat Wendigo and got our lifespan increased to 2 more days. Still, there are plenty to fight the exit and escape the lockdown. But there is one thing they'll be forgetting about this entire time, is the battery. Even the device that can summon devil and ancient god can survive without a battery. With a power outage and all, they don't have much of a choice but to find a battery that can power the device manually. So where could be the place more suitable to find it than Akihabara? There they see barricades everywhere and shops closed. When all hope seems but lost, Keisuke appears as their savior, lending them his extra manual battery for them to use. Keisuke, I misjudged you. You are a great guy. Then Keisuke told them he has not seen anyone's lifespan exceeding 6 days except from self-defense force, who don't even have the countdown above their head. Now they at least know something will happen after 6 days, but only within Yamanote line. Things are starting to get spicy. Then Keisuke leaves, saying he needs to save people as many as he can with his strong sense of justice. During this event, a mail will be sent to you and with it brings another function, Devil Fusion, a megaten staple. The new addition this time being, you can get racial devils with their own specific racial skills, so you can make devils that suits your playstyle and team building. Never once would I thought I would even try to use Midama to strengthen my devils in this game. To me, inheriting skills and making use of spirits and Midama to create perfect devils is equal to EV training in Pokemon. It just feels professional to me, you know. Might as well study the entire devil fusion chart for the next game. In Ikebukuro, we get to meet with yet another character, Midori. I still haven't seen a single person who like this character, unfortunately. If Yuzu is real, then Midori is as real as she possibly can be, meaning she is very anime, like in exaggerated ways. As you can see, she is a cosplayer cosplaying some magical girl character and goes with a nickname called Magical Dori. You can say whatever you like, but man, ain't she the cutest thing in the entire world. In Roppongi, they see Haru talking with a guy with small eyes. Turns out, the man was trying to persuade Haru to come with him, but Haru kept refusing, so he had to give up and leave. Then the trio approached her to talk. Haru seemed to recognize Yuzu, which made her happy of course, and Haru told them that the man was sort of a top-brass member of Shomonkai, and he had came to ask her to help them. In Shiba Park, there are tons of people taking shelter from all the crazy stuff happening, and then there in the middle, Shomonkai is making a speech about their teaching about Babel Tower, Trials of God, and Internet. I still can't accept the fact that some ancient religious call talking about Internet. Man, talk about a weird combo. Here we get to meet with Amane again, and then the team gets to know gods and devils are the same, and that it was Shomonkai who commissioned Nawa to help them make the comms, which they have been using to summon devils up until this point. Next, they go to martial art buildings. There they hear Haru's music, so when they went inside to check, they see Haru being surrounded by devils. Here we go, our first rescue mission, and I hate these things. Rescue mission and escort mission are the worst. You need to use a bit of your brain to get through some of these missions. For me, I just want to grind and storm every battle with raw strength, you know. So even with the devil surrounding Haru, she doesn't seem to panic even a bit. She looks as if she has known devils for quite some time. Still, it is worrying as he looks like a person who had already given up on life. She then takes out what she calls a sequencer and starts pressing buttons, only to realize its battery is gone. After that, she tells about how her sequencer is precious to her as it was given to her by Aya. What's more, she seems to be interested in Kazuya too. Maybe I should try some cat ear headphone on and walk around for some race action in real life. Then they see Jin standing in front of Shomokai building, so when asked what he was doing, he said nothing and then left. There definitely has to be something going on with him and Shomokai. In Aoyama Cemetery, they had an encounter with devils who were summoned from comms without the comms users. The comms are just lying there summoning one devil after another, so they had to pick them up to stop them from summoning. Just who put these things on the ground anyway? At night, they need to find a place to sleep, but they just decide to stay at the park as there is a roof and water to drink. They only have eaten a bread for the entirety of the day, so they are hungry and they are worried about tomorrow. Kazuya tells them not to worry, and Asuro reassures Yuzu and Kazuya that you are trying hard too, and so Yuzu thanks both of them.
二人ともありがとう。
It is a heartwarming bonding moment. And then they recount all the events happened today, then they decide to just sit right there while they take turns standing guard. Now it's mealtime. Naoya tells you that sending mail is only possible during nighttime, as during daytime, the device is busy with devil summonings and fightings. Yuzuwa tells you how she will kill to take a shower, and now that she's alone, she started thinking and worrying about all sorts of things. Unlike during daytime when she was together with Kazuya and Asuro, but really all she wishes is for her phone to work, and shower, and food, and water, and to escape from the lockdown. Asuro just wonders what Naoya's goal is and complains about the lack of information. Kazuya then replies to mails that will never get a reply back, but he still does it anyway because he loves his friends. Next morning, they wake up to the announcement that the poison outbreak is still under investigation. Other people might believe the lie, but Asuro and his friends are already doubting the government. Then Lovely's main prediction came in. This time, there is one prediction that caught their eye. In Ikebukuro, a mysterious creature will appear and cause 50 deaths. They kind of freaked out because the death count rose from 3 to 50 in one day. There is still time before that happens, so they want to stay trying to find an exit. On the way in Kamukicho, they see a container drop from the sky by a helicopter. Asuro went in and quickly grabbed one, and they got 2 days worth of water and solid foods. With lockdown and food distribution, they don't think the government is going to let the lockdown end anytime soon. When they are near Shudo Expressway, a group of people comes down from there, and there they meet with Honda, telling them Shudo Expressway is sealed off too.
君たちひょっとして首都高で山手線の外に出ようとしてるのか。だったら無駄だよ。封鎖されてる。
If his voice sounds familiar, that is because his white actor also voice acted Diavolo from JoJo. After showing his interest in Kazuya's comp, he left. Then they see Honda again, but with Kaido this time, talking near Shibuya Station about comps. Honda seems to have weird obsession with the comps. In front of Kanda Station, they meet with someone who Asuro is very acquainted with. It's Mari.
あら、ひょっとして厚郎くん？
やっぱりマリ先生だ。お久しぶり。
She is Asuro's middle school homeroom teacher. Again, I'm bothered with her portrait. What is the one she is holding? A chalk? A secret? What's she doing with a chalk, walking under broad daylight? Anyway, she complains about power outrage and worries about people might go into trance from immense stress. Then she tells them to act calmly in any situation, then left. Inside Shiba Park, in front of Tokyo Tower, they find a group of delinquents with comps in their possession. The trio thinks it is dangerous to leave comp in their hands, so they had no choice but to take them away by force. They then notice more people start possessing comps and worries about bad guys using comp for bad cause. In Ikebukuro, they meet with Shoji, a journalist.
君たちから話を聞かせてほしいんだけど、ノープロブレム。
I don't worry about journalists and RPGs because they are basically immortals in these kind of games. I firmly believe that she can make it to the end without a single harm. I love journalist characters in games. They are the best comic relief character you can ever have in RPGs. She then interviews the trio, promising to tell them a secret method of escape if they answer her questions. She plans to reveal the government's evil doings after the lockdown ends, so she is trying hard to get that information. And for secret method of escape, she told them there is a rumor that Shudo Express not only goes over the city, it also connects the subway at Akasaka Tunnel. She told them people will start losing their mind after 2 days when they realize the government is lying to them. In Shiba Park, they notice even more people are here than yesterday. Azuro worries about those people's safety and suggests they clear devils around this area whenever they can. But Yuzu doesn't want to do that and is just desperate to just find the exit because her lifespan is running low. And so with that, they finally reach Akasaka Tunnel, which is also their last hope of finding the exit without having a dry confrontation with self-defense forces. But when they got there, they see devils who knows how to use calm to summon devils on their own. This is the only time I see this kind of gimmick in this entire game, but at least they now know that devils also have brains. Then they hear devils mentioning Beru Devil for the first time. They shivers upon just hearing the name. When they were still lost in thought, a woman walks up to them and points a gun to their face. Then another man joins, demanding her to tell me the current situation. And then he starts calling them targets, and with that seeing their last option to escape. Dejected, they try walking on Omode Sando. Then Azuro remembers about strange incident happening some half a year ago, the vampire incident. He thinks of the possibility that devil might already be here even before the lockdown. Then they meet with Mari again in Kanda. She talks about how hospital has been facing problems because of power outage. Most importantly, hospital no longer have way to sanitize themselves, so hygiene becomes a huge deal, and also shortage of medicine as they can no longer keep them at a cold temperature. She then lectures us to at least wash our hands with water and keep ourselves hygienic, and goes away. So yeah guys, remember to wash your hands often. They somehow got to Eikokuji after walking around searching for any more possible exit. Have to respect their endeavor. Tired and exhausted, they decide to stop here for a while, thinking it will be safe from devils since this is a temple. And nope, there it is, devils. Isn't temple supposed to ward off evil? Wrong game, I guess. Also, I hate Jack devils in this game. They are so annoying. They appear in groups and use these weak healing spells that heal little to no damage at all, and they use it every time they have a chance. It feels like the game is intentionally testing my patience. Other devils use heal spell every single turn, but at least they recover a big chunk of HP unlike these little guys. I won't be renting this match if only they don't appear in free battles. See, I had to grind for hours and I had to deal with this slow and inefficient healing animation 3 times per group, multiple wave of Jack devils every turn. It becomes tedious and absurd. In Shibuya, they see Honda and Self-Defense Force Commander talking. Honda is begging him to let him out so that he can meet with his son who is going to have a surgery soon, but to no avail. Self-Defense Force Commander ain't afraid to put a bullet in Honda's head if he were to set a foot outside a barricade, and he means it. Honda then head towards the group looking dejected and greets them. He is dreading about the possibility of not being together with his son during surgery, so much so that he even thought about breaking through the barricade using devils, but he quickly takes his thought back and left. Seeing Honda made Yuzu miss her mom and hopes she can return home and apologize to her mom for everything. In Kanda, they meet with Kaido. He asks if they know about vampire incident about a man getting sucked to dry and die. Apparently that man was Kaido's brother, and he believed it really might have been a real vampire who killed his brother. And then out of nowhere, he reminds them that it might be impossible to find Naoya because of communication problems and left. It is crazy because I thought at this point the game might just throw that part away, but no, Kaido actually remembers and actually reacts to my choice from before. It is reassuring to know my choice actually matters in this game. Again in Kanda, they eavesdrop Kaido and Mari talking. They are talking about Kaido's brother, so Kaido and Mari might have some connections with each other. It smells like some kind of drama going on between two of them. Again in Kanda, they barge into Kaido again. This time, he asks Yuzu and Azuro to leave two of them alone to talk. Kaido asks Kazuya whether he heard him talking with Mari and asks what Yuzu is to him. Our Sigma Kazuya told him she is just a friend. Of course, Kazuya knows Yuzu have a crush on him, but a man gotta do what a man gotta do, saving the world. And then Kaido just breaks the character and confesses to Kazuya that he likes Mari. How can he say that with his face looking like that? Apparently, they were childhood friends, three of them, him, Mari, and his brother. But then his brother snatched away Mari from him, leaving his face looking like this for the rest of his life. And now with his brother dead, he thought he finally got married to his own. But no, Mari still wants to avenge her lover and still have feeling for him. I'm just guessing, but that face definitely has some ulterior motive behind it for sure. As it just made more apparent when Kaido asked Kazuya what he should do in order to get Mari. Kazuya then tells him to help Mari with her revenge mission. And now Kaido is set on killing that vampire, looking all happy and stupid. And with that, Kaido just now got officially registered as an angry and desperate guy with a severe hair receding problems. At Tokyo Tower, they see citizens getting attacked by devils and a policeman trying to help them, while at the same time telling the trio to back off since it is dangerous and to leave everything to him, and without possessing a comb at that. This man deserves the best chat of the game just for this moment alone. But the team trying to send the police away to Shiba Park and they succeeded. The police is gone, but the devil follows him, so they need to save the citizens here quick and go after the police. Now back at Shiba Park, the citizens are getting surrounded by more devils together with the Czech policeman from before. But hey, Shomogai arrived to save the day and then one of them dying immediately. Now for real, Amane arrived and caught an angel and wiped the floor with it. Now people seem to believe in Shomogai more than before. As always, the trio starts to doubt whether it was all an act for spreading their belief or not, or because of their walk-ins with Naoya in making comms. And now with comm users spreading, Azuro just had to go and ask Shomogai member directly. Shomogai member says they have no involvement with comm spreading because they only give comm to people who follow their teachings within their ranks. Then who's the one spreading comms if not Shomogai? In Ikebukuro, they see Keisuke and Midori in trouble, surrounded by devils. Lablis may predict that 50 people will die, so the rest is probably underground hiding. This event battle is a rescue mission, and it sucks because of these devils who can attack from 2 grids. It will waste your time if you don't bring the devils who have richer skill that can also attack from 2 grids or 3 grids. Also, these rescue missions can have a bit of an RNG element to it, so be prepared. Midori is screaming for help and for her papa, and Keisuke is there trying to calm her down. And then he tries to show his gigantic balls in front of a cute girl, but he just looks hopeless and miserable. I just can't help but feel sorry for him. And so after saving 50 people for the day, everyone is all happy. And now is our good old discussion time. Keisuke reveals his findings. Everyone seems to have life countdown on their heads besides self-defense forces. So he thinks self-defense forces are not trustworthy because they are just standing still and watching at their barricades while all the devils are running wild and killing people inside Yamanote line. But the tension got broken when Midori interrupted. She was awestruck by all the devil summonings and fighting that ensued earlier, and now she wants to have a combo of her own. Kazuya tries to stop her from having it, but Keisuke again, like Kaido, wants to get some rest, so he acts tough and assures Kazuya that he will teach Midori everything about Kom and protect her. Midori then grabs Keisuke by his arm and goes away. Go for you, Keisuke. As they try to find the exit, they stop to rest at Miyashita Park. There Yuzu asks about how Azuro becomes a computer and internet nerd. Azuro explains about how his parents are computer experts and was at Silicon Valley, and how he didn't move to Silicon Valley because he couldn't speak English. So he had grown up together with internet ever since he was in elementary school, and on that, he has friends who usually are older than him or even office workers. In Suido Obashi, they see Midori and Keisuke again fooling around, but Kazuya finds something is different now. Midori's lifespan got shortened to 2 days after she attained her comp. He has a bad feeling about this. It's nighttime. As always, they sit down inside the park and recount all the events that happened today. They have failed to find the exit even after walking around the city entire day. They talk about the spread of con user in general and how devils are self-conscious enough to actively trying to revive a devil called Deru, the immortal. And according to Shoji, things might start to get chaotic soon. Asuro assures everyone that he will protect them, and so does Kazuya. Yuzu thanks both of them for cheering her up again because that's the only thing she is capable of.
ありがとう。
They then says goodnight to each other and goes to bed, looking forward to reading Laplace's mail prediction for tomorrow. It's mealtime. Naoya talks about another addition to the comp, the Devil Compendium. Kazuya can't wait to mess around with the new function tomorrow. Amane asks Kazuya assistant with Shomonkai. Keisuke talks about how his later trouble he wants to discuss about and asks Kazuya if it is okay to exchange mail again in the future. He is probably talking about Midori's lifespan shortening. Yuzu is still proud of saving 50 people this evening, and she thinks as long as they are Laplace made predictions, she can overcome anything, even death. Asuro wonders how Keisuke got his con from. He is unsure if he got from nowhere just like them or from another route. Day 3. They wake up to the Laplace made prediction telling them 500 people will die by Deru upon his revival. What a way to start a day. Now they got to deal with that immortal devil if they want to save those people. And then Keisuke comes running to tell them about his problem. He asks whether giving calm to Midori was a mistake. Yeah, and it was all because of you. Now they have to deal with both Deru and Midori. At least now Keisuke joins their party, though he admits he has been running away from them when he saw their shortened lifespan. But now he has changed and decided to focus on helping people with a strong sense of justice. They promised him that they will save Midori, but now they need to survive today in order to save her tomorrow. And yet, he still wants them to persuade Midori if they happen to see her today. What's this guy's problem? Even Asuro realizes it and asks him if he has crushed on Midori or something. Of course, he says no and go on and on about how he has a great sense of justice. But whatever, let's start moving already. In Kanda, they meet with Shoji again. It always puts a smile on my face when I see her. She never disappoints me. She is surprised they haven't escaped yet. Asuro tries to explain how they got attacked by some mysterious monsters, but Shoji already knows it is Devil. She has already been attacked by devils once and got saved by Jin. Now she is all over him. She now confirms government intend to see the devils away with us inside this lockdown. Kazuya asks her if she had heard anything about Deru, but she doesn't seem like a right person to ask when it comes to the gods and devils. She might not even believe their existence if they hadn't appeared in front of her eyes, but she does tell them her other new findings. It appears some rumors have been popping up lately saying the war is about to end, and then she left. Didn't learn anything new there, did we? She disappoints me. In Akasaka Tunnel, they try to go in again another time to try their luck, but the woman from yesterday is still here and still with a gun pointed to their heads. She demands them to delete their devils, mistaking them from Shomokai members. After Kazuya explains how they have no connection with Shomokai members, she drops her gun and allows them to ask her question. Kazuya then asks what's the main reason behind the lockdown. She lightly touched upon the subject, dodging questions, but basically they put a lockdown not just to see the devils, but also to target something at the right timing. So it was all intentional right from the beginning. Then she proceeds to tell there is no escape. Be it on surface, underground, sea or sky, they seem to be pretty dead serious on carrying out this mission till the end. So much so that they won't even hesitate to pull the trigger if anyone tries to leave the barricade. Right then, she received a report telling her of shootings happening at Ueno Station, killing 10 and injuring hundreds of people in the demonstration group. Then she goes on about how she loves her country, her people and her government. Keisuke thought he had hard enough, so he interrupted, and she's cool with it. Her name is Izuna, captain of Special Task Force. She then asks them for their cooperation with them and exchange information. After talking with Izuna, it is now pretty clear that there really is no escaping unless they fight head-on with Self-Defense Force and Special Task Force. But that's the last thing they want to do, so now they have to look at the root of the problems, the devils. If they manage to do something about devils, the lockdown itself will lose its purpose and everything will end. But for now, they need to focus on finding ways to defeat an immortal devil, Beruderu. In Kamuki Cho, they meet with a playful-looking guy. He asks if he can take Yuzu with him, and Kazuya says yes. Yuzu is obviously angry at the reply, but turns out the guy is just joking around. He seems to know Naoya, and not only that, but about their lifespan being 0 and about Beruderu, and also its weakness. The guy then tells them that Beruderu can only be defeated by using a certain item. Now they have to go look for that certain item. In Hibiya Park, they heard a noise, and inside, look who it is. It's Haru. And when Haru comes, yet another rescue mission. Haru looks dead as ever with no signs of recovery. She talks about Aya giving her a homework on making a song, and she has been trying to complete that song. Then she tries to hit on Kazuya in front of Yuzu, which makes her jealous meter jumps into the space. After that, Keisuke will approach Kazuya and ask him if he is still willing to save people like that in the future. He thinks it is a bad idea to summon devils in front of normal people, as they will be able to discern the devil summoner and the devils, and might think they are all the same. Then he goes on about the matter with Midori, as she too has been going around and saving people by summoning devils here and there, and he worries about her safety. In Omote-san though, they meet with Jin. He laments about his friend dying in the hospital because of the shortage of medicine and left. Kazuya had enough of hearing about depressing stuff all day long, so he goes out a bit by himself. He then meets with Haru. She teases him if he has fallen for her, and Kazuya with a straight face said yes. Got a few laughter out of Haru. She thinks it is fate that twines two of them together to meet here. She talks about how people just befriend with her because of her fate, and then goes on about how she grew up in streets because her parents threw her away. Then she asks Kazuya what he thinks about death, but she retracts her statement quickly and left. Kazuya ain't letting her go anywhere just yet, so he follows her and talks to her again. So she continues her story. When she got left by her parents, she had to go live with her relative. But her relative too doesn't want her, so she had to leave them and go live on her own, working insane hours of part-time jobs to barely make a living. Until one day, Aya came and offered a place in her band. So Haru sees Aya as a savior and as a very important person in her life. No wonder she looked so depressed when Aya left for her music studies. After telling that, Haru left for good. Satisfied, Kazuya goes back to the team to continue his mission. In Ikebukuro, they see Midori running around, so they have to go after her.
愛の戦士マジカルドリー悪い悪魔に天罰敵面
This battle is a bit of a mess. First focus on escorting civilians to safety, and right after you clean all the devils, Beruderu just appears out of nowhere and attacks you. Honestly, Kazuma Kaneko are just look like JoJo. Could be the pose he draws, I don't know. Beruderu just straight up looks like Abachio from JoJo Golden Wing. But obviously, Midori doesn't understand that, so she decides to go and attack the immortal devil by herself and got absolutely destroyed. Now they have to carry half dead Midori by themselves and get out of this place. Even then, Midori doesn't understand the whole point of coming here to save her. She still thinks it is fine to go around saving people, even with people calling her devil summoning witch. Then when Keisuke tries to explain her about the lifespan, she turns into a little piece of trash and starts picking a fight with everyone. She then calls everyone stupid and runs away. I think I can now see why people hate her. Then they stop by Senkakuji Temple to take a rest while finding information about the item that was against Beruderu. Asuro actually thinks he might be able to find some info about it if Kazuya and Keisuke help him power his laptop manually using those batteries for 10 minutes. Both of them go crazy with that thing, but even then, his laptop could only last for 6 minutes. But Asuro managed to find some info regardless and pass it to Yuzu to read it. The item they need to find is called Yadoriki. They don't know what it looks like or where to find it, so there is still a long way to get that item, it seems. So while they are trying to find info on Yadoriki, Asuro sees someone on the street and ran after him, but he does not make it. Apparently that person was someone he came to be acquainted with when he was in programmer community, and a girlfriend at that. But one day after messaging Asuro that he had found government secret, he went missing the next day. As they chased down the man from before, they caught up to him at Eikokuji Temple. He indeed is the man Asuro is well acquainted with and goes by the name 10-bit. He spent 2/3 of his final moments setting up the move, and then right when he's about to tell something important, he dies. And with that, they got a comp that contains the government secret but without a password. They are going to need to bust their head later to crack the password. In Suito Bashi, they meet with Midori again, so they try to persuade her into stop trying to act like a hero, so she runs away again. Then in Kamugicho, they see Midori talking with Jet Frost. She tells Jet Frost why it can win her because it doesn't have the power of love and stuff. Jet Frost believes her words and goes away, and so does Midori. In Shibuya, they meet with Kaido and Honda in pair this time, challenging the team on a match to see who can kill Devil faster. Depending on how many people you want to dispatch, Kaido's dialogue will change. After they won them 4-3, Kaido got mad and summoned Pazuzu without a comp, but with only strong willpower. Although I don't think it's because of his strong willpower or anything, but just from pure embarrassment. At martial art building, they had to fight with runaway Shomonkai members. After a few turns, real Shomonkai members will arrive to assist. Then you can either choose to leave the rest to them or fight alongside them till the end. And finally, after going around collecting info of Yatoriki, they managed to pinpoint the location to be in Nagata-cho. When they arrive at the location, they find evil comp users and devils already in skirmish. Though this time, both comp user and devils has to be defeated by you, and not let comp user get killed by devils. So after all the travels, they finally obtain Yatoriki. But something seems off with the man that gives them Yatoriki. He seems to be quite happy with handing Yatoriki to them. Then they discuss about a plan to defeat Beruderu while looking at this phone strap looking thing called Yatoriki. Seriously, I don't even know how you even use this thing to fight. Don't tell me you have to swing this thing around like a sword or something. That's gotta look awkward, especially in front of an immortal devil. But now they had no choice but to believe in this phone strap looking thing and face Beruderu. In Ikebukuro, Honda tells them about Asakusa Temple incident where the explosion happened, like it had happened in the day before. He can't help but think Asakusa Temple incident and lockdown are connected, in which both of these incidents is caused by an unknown factor and both of these incidents have explosion in it. And also, the one that took initiative in helping people out during both incidents was Shomonkai. He thinks it is too good to be called a coincidence with Shomonkai's involvement in both cases. Even though he wants to investigate more on Asakusa Temple, he can't, because it is outside Yamanote line. And now it is time they head to Aoyama Cemetery and fight with Beruderu, or else 500 people will die. It won't do you any good in killing every devil because Beruderu is going to just summon everything again. And if you try to head straight for Beruderu, you are dead meat, because everything is going to surround you and take time beating the heck out of you. And that happened to me with my first battle. So next time I came prepared with big brain plan. I don't plan to use any of the extra character except from the trio, but for this battle, I think I'm going to need Keisuke, and I'm going to use him as a bait to stall devils as much as I can so that Kazuya can just break through the middle and fight Beruderu head on. No hard feelings, Keisuke, but I guess I just hate that look on your face. So you can only attack this boss with the main protagonist by him and him alone, and only attack with your normal attack, which will change into Yatoriki for this battle specifically. That's the entire gimmick. Bring devils that can attack 2 times per turn, and combined with extra turns, you can hit Beruderu 4 times per turn, and then Abagio will go down in no time. After defeating Beruderu, they go back to the playful guy from before. So here's my guess. I think the guy that gave them Yatoriki back then was this guy in disguise. Here, listen to this for a moment.
そうか、お前たち何も知らないんだな。これは愉快だ。
まさか本当に君が実に愉快だ。いいね。いいよ君。
Their way of speaking sounds the same to me. Then he proceeds to tell them about the battle for throne to begin Devil King. It is basically a fight between 5 devils, namely Beruderu, Beru-Iaru, Isaberu, Beru-Zebubu, Beru-Berido. Simply put, the one who possesses all power of 5 Beru devil will become a Devil King and takes the throne. The man even tells them what they will be fighting with after 3 days, and it's going to be Beru-Iaru. In Akihabara, Asuro is going to try cracking the password. Nothing's like a little puzzle to coat their brain after a long and stressful day. So they need to think of 4 words for the password. 3 of them will have to bang their head to solve it together. First up is Yuzu. She thinks the password might be address, birthday or phone number, which in Japan you can't even put that in password anymore. Then Kazuya comes up with a plan that it could be his name. Asuro don't know Tanbe's real name, but if it is in number, using its handle name would be doable. So according to Asuro, 1 bit has a value of 0 and 10, and it has to be calculated with exponentials, so 10 has to sit on 2, resulting in 1024. But in programming, you have to start counting from 0, so it has to be 1023, and hence the password. After reading what's inside the comp, Asuro was shocked. What he found was that all the electrical device has a mysterious chip inside them, and they can generate a strong electrical wave barrier. Which in this case, those electrical barrier will blind anyone alive inside the lockdown if the government wills it. They are initially installed by the government to use those weapons against the future invasion from foreign adversaries. It's nighttime. Today they realize there really is no way out of this lockdown for real this time. Even though they be Beru, they just can't be happy. And there is also better for throne they have to worry about. But Asuro suggests they prioritize the fight with Beru Iaru first, which is going to happen in 3 days. They also have to save Midori tomorrow, or else she is going to die. They have already used most of their brain power with the password, so now all of them just want to hit the sack for tonight and be done with it. It's mealtime. Amane tells Kazuya that he cannot turn back anymore because he has now become a part of throne battles after gaining Beru's power. Honda also mailed Kazuya telling him how he misses his son and how he wants to summon a devil with a wing and flying across the barricade. Kaido talks about his world domination plan. Midori thanks him for saving her, but is still dead set on becoming a hero of justice and thinks Keisuke was joking that she is going to die soon. Talking about Keisuke, he is again telling Kazuya to save Midori. Man, just shut up already. I swear I'm going to use you as a bait again if you keep yapping about it. Yuzu thanks Kazuya and Asuro too and thinks both of them are reliable and she feels safe being with them. She wants to go home together with Kazuya. But she feels like Kazuya is drifting farther away from her after the battle at Aoyama Cemetery. And finally, Asuro thinks killing every devil is a waste of potential, and he doesn't want to do it. Day 4. As soon as the morning comes, everyone gathers around and starts discussing. Asuro wonders if there is any other way they can deal with devils other than wiping all of them out of this world. And then he talks about how controlling every devil could be possible by accessing Sava. But still, the location of the Sava is unknown, so the nearest conclusion they could draw is to pay a visit to Shomongai where comms originated. Lastly, Lovely's main prediction for today is Midori getting killed, civilian uprising, and an aliving incident. After seeing the prediction, Keisuke goes silent and starts going crazy when he realizes Midori is going to die by the hands of people she has saved. After going on about how he can forgive these people, he decides that he's going to have to take matters into his own hand and decides to kill them. Yuzu is opposed to Keisuke killing human beings and tells him she is not going to help him in this matter. Then Keisuke just up and left the group to go do his own thing. It is actually a bad idea to let this crazy run loose, so the trio decides to fight Midori first because there is a high possibility of Keisuke being there too, effectively killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now about the enlivening incident. Yuzu worries the incident might be pointing towards Haru and that she wants to save her if that was the case. So they go to Shinjuku to stock up again, but the situation is as you can see. It has gone out of control. Asuro managed to grab some food with him, but Atlus and kids though, not so much. In Shiba Park, Asuro calls Kazuya to have a man-to-man talk by themselves. He confessed that he had been acting tough in front of Yuzu lately, and he thinks they might have to do everything by themselves without relying on anyone, which is the thought that might scare Yuzu as she had been very much looking forward to returning home. In Shinagawa, they meet with Azuma in front of Shomonkai building. Kazuya then asks him about Sava. Azuma can't say in detail, but he provides them a vague explanation. Sava is no longer with them, and now it is in the presence of the core. Next, Kazuya asks about Naoya. Azuma tells about his disappearance after development of comms and that they plan to clean Naoya's apartment room by tomorrow. Kazuya then asks him about the battle for throne, but that he cannot answer, so he goes inside and calls someone who can answer his question. It's the founder of Shomonkai, but he seems to have only one thing to say about the battle for thrones. It has already been decided. The god that they worship is going to be the Devil King. A god and a Devil King? What's going on? Then Kazuya asks about Beru Iaru. Founder explains what Beru Iaru is, but all we need to know is Beru Iaru is the fire devil. After that, the founder excuses himself and goes inside. In Ikebukuro, they see Midori being attacked by civilians. She tries to reason with the civilians, but they won't listen to her at all. So it's Trio's time to save Midori once again for 100th time. You can't let Midori die, so keep healing her whenever you can. Keep Midori alive until Keisuke arrives. After that, he will lose his mind and summon Yama. He vows to bring judgment onto humans through Yama and start attacking the civilians. Now you have to protect both civilians and Midori until they escape or defeat Yama. I can't defeat Yama, so I had to choose the former. They did manage to save Midori in the end, and yet she still goes off on her own. What's more, her lifespan is still at 0. When will this torture end? At Shiba Park, Yuzu and Asuro look at all the carefree people just sitting around under Shomonkai's protection, waiting for the lockdown to end without doing anything. The sight made both of them mad. Then Asuro goes to toilet and Yuzu takes off for a walk. At that time, Jin approached Kazuya to talk. He tells him about his girlfriend Aya, who went missing half a year ago. It was a cold rainy day when it happened. Jin was asked by Aya to come and pick her up at the station, so Jin just ran there without umbrella, and when he got to the station all wet and cold, he didn't find Aya anywhere. When he asked around, he found out Aya was seen going inside a car from Shomokai with another man. She thought Shomokai had to do something with Aya's disappearance, but there was no evidence. Kazuya decides to help Jin out, and Jin couldn't be any more happier. Shomokai seems to be cautious of Jin, so he asked Kazuya to go ask Shomokai in his stead. And so they head to Shomokai building to gather information about Aya and finds out Azuya was the one who brought Aya to Shomokai. They then go back to Jin and tells him about Azuma and that he will be at Hills at 12 the day after. Jin thanks them for the info and left. Now they need to hurry if they want to get Naoya's stuff before Shomonkai. There is a possibility of finding something connected to the server after all. On Omotesen though, they see a group of people trying to find Midori. There are some who are thankful to her, but the ones who distress her really seem to outnumber them. After they left, Midori comes out of her hiding spot and talks. They then manage to lecture her this time, and with that Midori is now their team member. Hope she turns into a good girl because I don't want to deal with our crazy shenanigans anymore. At Kamuki Cho, they save the man from evil com users. He will then tell the team that most people are starting to view com user as a bad person rather than good and to be careful. It's good to see doing these kind of battle and seeing it taking effect with everything around you. If it wasn't for that, I was just gonna straight up say these kind of battles are a waste of time. In Suidobashi, they see Kaido and Honda having a fight with the civilians, who probably thought any com user would be like Midori who don't fight back, but they obviously chose the wrong person to mess with. And who knows what this short-tempered guy will do, so they better start up quickly before it's too late. So now is a great time to talk about the devil designs. Actually, it's a tangent. I just forgot to talk about it earlier in the video. One of my favorite devil I got right around this part is Yamu. It looks like a penis, and it looks cool. Kazuma Kaneko designs is really golden, especially when he draws devils. I think penis-shaped devils and megaten games go so well, like they look majestic and ancient. But then there are some devils who look straight up gross. Devils progressively become more grotesque the more higher rank they become. I mean, just look at this thing. In Kanda, Shoji talks about there being devils and angels present within the lockdown. She saw angels with her own eyes standing beside self-defense forces standing out orders. Now angels becomes the main culprit behind lockdown instead of the government. Shoji thinks if God is on their side, then they won't have to go through this trouble in the first place. In Shibuya, they meet with Kaido, which Yuzu seems to be on bad terms with lately. It's fun to see Yuzu nagging Kaido and annoying him, but that's beside the point. Kaido is here to ask if they know the com user with a glass who talks about sense of justice all the time, and that Kaido is out here searching to kill him because it appears some of his gang members were killed by him. He wants to get this mess out of the way fast to help Mari with a vampire incident case. So before they try to talk no jutsu with Keisuke, they do somehow try to avoid Keisuke and Kaido from meeting. It's going to be another busy day. In Shinagawa, they quickly paid a visit to Shomonkai. Kazuya tells Azuma that he is cousin to Naoya and that he wants to keep Naoya's belongings. Azuma tells them there is nothing worth keeping, but they insist, so he tells them to come again tomorrow to pick his things up. Now they are one step closer to finding out about Sava. Yuzu then reminds Kazuya of the unaliving incident, so they are going to Shibuya and save Haru. Although it is only going to be Tokuno jutsuing Haru into submission without any battles, which is a good change of pace because I can take a break from rescue missions for once. Haru is blaming herself, thinking she is the one who brought devils inside Tokyo with her sequencer. Kazuya has to reason with her that devils are already here even before she got her sequencer, with the example being the vampire incident from half a year ago. When she hears that, she calms down and ultimately saving her from unaliving herself. In Shibuya again, they see Mari running around seemingly being followed by something. This is my favorite part. I'm not going to say anything, just listen to this bit. This voice acting is actually peak. I burst out laughing during my first playthrough. Anyway, what's going on right now is that Mari is being chased by Kudoraku, and you are not allowed to kill Kudoraku, as he will grow stronger if he is not killed in correct way, and of course Mari can die. But Kudoraku is blocking her way, so she need to wrap all the way around to escape. You need to reach her fast, as she will keep getting slowed by Kudoraku every turn, rendering her unable to move more than one grip. I managed to save Mari and not kill Kudoraku somehow, so we are good for now. After the battle, they got to know Mari is actually being possessed by Kurosunic. Kurosunic is here to kill Kudoraku, and so does Mari. But they need some kind of white powder in order to pull Kudoraku down for good, or else he will just keep reviving into stronger devil. Mari did have that powder in her bag, but it got stolen, so they need to go find that bag first. While they are trying to find the bag, they bump into Polycom's users assaulting civilians at a martial art building. Okay, now we are fighting everyone at this point. The situation inside lockdown really is out of control. After they retrieve Mari back, they give it to Kaido instead of Mari, effectively succeed in turning Kaido's attention to Mari instead of Keisuke. And with that, everything is set for events to come tomorrow. It's nighttime. Midori thanks them for saving her, and now all that's left is to save Keisuke, who is still out there. If you think about it, part of it was Midori's fault, and she knows that too, but nothing good will come out of it now, even if they blame Midori. So they just assure her everything will be fine, and they promise to save Keisuke. Then, like always, they recite everything that happened today. They will have to go help with Mari's fight with Kudoraku tomorrow. They get to know the involvement of Angel with this lockdown, about Sava being in some place they can reach. And to be fair, all of this stuff will become clear if they just had a chance to talk with Naoya, but he is still nowhere to be found. And there is still a fight to be held with Beru Iaru, the fire devil. Yuzu will personally thanks Kazuya for saving Haru. It just feels nice when game does things like this. How nice of you. It's mealtime. Honda is still desperately trying to find the exit. Kaido is now entrusting Kazuya with finding Keisuke. Midori says she is a go-getter now and will never be a bad girl again. But that doesn't mean she has given up on becoming a hero. This is a bit awkward, but Keisuke sent a mail to Kazuya too. He wants Kazuya not to be a hindrance to him in any capacity, or else he might have to kill him too. Yuzu just whines about what can she possibly do as a high school girl with all of the fighting between humans, gods and devils. But honestly, Arasuro is the one who has been having it really hard recently. Both cases involve his middle school teacher Mari and his childhood friend Keisuke, so he's going to try his hardest for them tomorrow. The fated day is getting near. Today Asuro wakes up early and comes to talk with Kazuya. He now knows what's going to happen after 2 days, but still hasn't figured out a way to avoid it or solve it. They can think however long they want, but the final day is real and nothing is going to change unless they act. So they decide to go meet with Izuna again today when they have time. Lapis' main prediction for today is Marty is going to be killed by a vampire and Keisuke by Kaido, and more uprisings to be had throughout the day. Today seems to be packed with things to do, so they decide to tackle one thing at a time. But first, they need to deal with self-defense force in Sunset Avenue. Wrap it up quick and head to Akihabara to meet with Keisuke, and things start to get a bit philosophical. He says he leaves the killing of judging to Yama and not him, so that there is no bias to be had in judging. The team tries to reason with him to stop him from killing people, so he points at the man who he killed just a moment ago. That man killed an old woman in front of her grandchild and took her food and all her possessions from her. He thinks people like that don't deserve to be lived, so he just succumbs to killings. Especially now when police and self-defense force are unreliable. If he didn't kill that man back there, her grandchild might be dead by now. So what's the correct answer here? Hell, I don't even know if Keisuke is right or wrong. It's how they actually going to try and reason with someone like him. I am interested in seeing how the team will try and convince him from this situation. In Shinagawa, they see Founder and Amane having some argument. Amane says she can hear Angel's voice and suggests that Founder, whom she calls her father, should follow the Angel's instruction too. But Founder doesn't like the idea, so he just tells her to do her job as a proper Shomokai's maiden and stop the nonsense at once. In Shinagawa again, but this time they meet with Azuma. He will then hand over the comp which all of Nagoya data has been stored in. If things goes well, they will get tons of information out of this comp, so for now, Kazuya handed over to Asuro to let him do his thing. It basically boils down to this. So in order to summon Devil, you need a proper ritual performed by some wise man with a strong willpower. That's the orthodox way of summoning devils. Keisuke and Kaido are living proof of it, even though I don't think both of them are wise, but at least Kaido isn't. But then Kazuya and his friends have been summoning devils through comp without doing any of them, and just casually summoning whenever they like. And that's where comp's function comes in. When you want to summon devil, it sends a request to server, and server will in turn send back the devil data through what Asuro called as see your emotions. So here's my understanding about see your emotion. When you are using internet and you write some rage comment, that emotion is sent into a see your emotion. Rage can be categorized as a strong emotion just like strong willpower, so one server sends the data back to comp through see your emotion, it fulfills the requirement of summoning devils without the need of ritual. Hopefully you guys understand, because this feels so weird trying to explain about something that doesn't exist. Anyway, moving on to the martial art building. They see Mari fighting with Kudoraku, then Kaido arrives and gives the bag to Mari. Now with White Powder in hand, they can put down Kudoraku for good, but then it needs to be killed by Mari only. The problem is, Kudoraku starts running right after the first turn ends, so I had to calculate somehow to deplete its health to a right amount, so that Mari can one-hit kill Kudoraku on the first turn. It took me several tries to get it right. I hate gimmick battles in this game, but by doing this Mari sidequest thing, you can unlock Kudoraku and Kuru Sneak, so it is all worth it in the end. In Kamugicho, Honda tells them that he is here to get some info on comps for the company he works for, and that he got his comp from some dead Shomokai member. He thinks more people die from getting killed by their own devil than they might think, because most people don't know they can fight their own devil back. At Shiba Park, they finally caught up to Keisuke again. There is a civilian being assaulted by policemen, and Keisuke is there to bring judgment on policemen together with Yama. What you need to do is prevent both policemen and civilians from getting killed by Keisuke, and also you can kill Keisuke. You also need to beat the policemen so that they can escape with comp in their hand. Your waiting condition is by only killing Yama. After all the mess, the Torno Jutsu begins. I was looking forward to seeing how they will manage to persuade Keisuke, and it turns out they told him to find his own justice and not borrow Yama's justice, and to give people a chance to repent their wrongdoings and to not resort to violence easily, which will just make him the same as the people he has judged. He got brought back to sense, but he thinks there is no turning back from here. So Midori tries to plead Kazuya to call him back to his team, and then Kazuya welcomes Keisuke again. With that, the team is back to action. Even though I would be more happier if Keisuke could just change his facial expression. At least smile a bit, you know. At Akasaka Tane, they meet with special task force from before, but with the comps this time. The team helps them ward off the devils again, and now they are on good terms. Nishimi, who seems to be in even higher position than Captain Izuna, quickly tells them to go away, but Izuna suggests an idea to let them work together because they are obviously more knowledgeable about devil summoning stuff. Izuna then tells him that she is prepared to throw her pride as well as her life away to complete her mission no matter what. Amazed by her enthusiasm, Nishimi tells her to go do what she wants and to leave the responsibility to him. Izuna thanks Nishimi and takes the team down to the subway, which they have been wanting to come since they start searching for the exit. And there she tells them some more juicy infos. Here's the summary. The government noticed some devil action going on at Shomokai, so they target the day they gather and start the lockdown without any plans of how to actually deal with devils. The plan was rushed essentially, but one thing the government knows is that he ain't gonna let anyone in the world knows about devils' existence, nor he is gonna let anyone inside the lockdown escape until the mission is confirmed to be accomplished. So self-defense forces are set to guard the barricade, while special task force like Nishimi and Izuna are dispatched inside the barricade to deal with the devils head-on, even though Nishimi and Izuna know they won't be able to leave just like others. She then tells everyone inside the lockdown will be killed by the government when the time is up. She won't tell them how, but the team already know they will be burned to death by super electrical barrier. Just gonna say here, Day 5 has tons of info dumps and I wasn't able to piece together anything at all during my first playthrough, and I only realized how many info start to overlap one another starting from this part of the game when writing this script. Overlapping might help you remember story during your first playthrough, but on repeated playthroughs, it becomes kind of annoying. Even on different routes, the info overlaps, so there is no escaping. Okay, so next they get to talk with a literal angel who seems to be residing inside Amane, called Remie, the servant of Metatron, whose power is second only to the god itself. Remie says she came to the human world to save them. She is not actually going to help them directly, but here only to pass on the word of God and to lead them in right direction. And the rest? Well, she basically tells humans to clean their own mess for the problem they started in the first place. Even though it was obviously Shomokai's doing, but Kazuya and his friends are brought into this mess that didn't have anything to do with them. Life couldn't get any more unfair than what they are going through right now. But Remia seems to not care about that either. She says this is a trial and if humans can overcome them by themselves, which means they manage to do something about devils, God will once again leave humanity back to their own hand. Otherwise, angel will lend humans their hand, but humanity will forever lose their freedom and be ruled under God's rule and follows the path of absolute righteousness. She does not seem to recommend searching for the server as she wants it will bring disaster to this world. And then she says even if a single person made out of the lockdown, the trial will end immediately and humanity will be under God's rule. After that, she gave the team a blessing and left. When you think info dumps finally ends here, it continues. At our Goro Shomokai building, one of the members sneakingly comes to them and tells them all the insights of con development as he has worked at Naoya. What a convenient world they are living in. This just appeared out of nowhere, but okay. The good thing is most of the info overlaps, so all they need to remember is that there is a rumor where during certain incident, Amane summoned a devil by using a ritual, and that devil state seems to live inside Amane. And also about how com developing progress significantly increased when Amane brought a woman with him. That woman is probably Aya, Jin's girlfriend. Then the man advised them to go look for either Azuma or Naoya if they wish to know more about the com, and then he goes back inside. At Akasaka Tane, Izuna says she got a new info and tells them about Shomonkai. The god that they worship is devil called Beruberido. They summon Beruberido in preparation for the day of God's trials to come, but ironically the trial is set into motion only because of them. After they summon Beruberido, angels appear in front of the government and tells them to activate the lockdown. Izuna then talks about how gods and devils gain power from people's belief. So to make use of it, Shomokai tries to recruit many people into worshipping Beruberido to strengthen it up until it gets strong enough to bring war against the god. They not only tend to end the lockdown, but also want to stop trials from ever happening again by killing the god. In Nigatacho, they finally find Naoya.
元気そうじゃないか。仲間も増えたようだな。お前たちの無事な姿を見て少しは安心したよ。
His voice actor voiced in Attack on Titan as Jin. I thought his voice sounded more like Levi, but I guess I was wrong. But more importantly, they have questions to ask to Naoya. He will answer them, but not until they play his later game first. In this gaming battle, Jinju kills 6 devils in 3 turns. It is an easy one if it weren't for these devils who can turn your movement to 1 and forever slow locking you until you eventually fail. Take out these meatballs as fast as you can. I recommend using long range devils. After all the trouble, Naoya needs to fulfill his promise now, and this is what he has to say. Naoya's goal is to make Kazuya win the battle for throne and make him a king. He won't say what's his real goal after that, but he just tells them to do as he says if they want to end the lockdown. He then tells how Kazuya has qualification to become a devil king while also having the god's favor at the same time. Now about Saba location. Naoya says it is still not time for them to even know the location just yet. And after that, Naoya left. On Omotesando, they meet with Jin, walking and reminiscing about his time with Aya. He talks about how his wall was colorless before Aya gave him colors, and how Aya will make sounds about anything she sees, and she was his only light. Aya loves Tokyo and Jin loves Aya, so he is going to protect Tokyo no matter what. His main goal is to return Tokyo back to normal, and that is not possible if all devils don't disappear, and that he is going to settle things with Azuma tomorrow at Hills. And it's nighttime. Finally, my brain can relax. So as usual, they recite everything they did throughout the day. Rizukan seems to sit still, knowing there is a possibility that they are all going to be boiled to death after 2 days. Asuro wonders why Naoya and Lemie are focusing their attention on Kazuya and not the others. And yeah, it's midtime. Nothing like lying in a pitch black cold room looking at com and reading mails sent from friends. Amane wants to help him win the throne and becomes the devil king, then order all devils to kneel under the god. Kaido thanks him for saving Mari. Yuzu begs Kazuya to prioritize surviving rather than solving the root of the problem. And Asuro talks about his plan to control devils. Midori is still talking about heroes and justice. I hate to say this, but I think she becomes irrelevant to the game right after they rescue her. Personally, I love her comedy as I was playing the game, but I was just sad to see her getting less and less screen time as the game progressed. And the same applies for Keisuke too. I managed to choose some time event right and get Keisuke's backstory, so I'm pretty sure there's gotta be Midori's backstory too, which I missed unfortunately. Keisuke ain't gonna be relevant to the plot in any impactful way anymore, so I will just talk about his backstory here. One day during his high school year, Keisuke sees someone getting picked on by bullies, but he's a man of justice, so he go ahead and help that guy while knowing that he's going to be the next victim of the bullying. But what he was expecting was that the one who he saves joins the bullying with the bully group. That's probably the reason he got so mad when Midori got attacked by people she saved. And that bullying went for 3 years until he graduated. Now I understand you, bro. Might have been rough years. You can now rest on the sideline until the game ends. You did well. Day 6. Lovely's main prediction is here, and it says they are all going to die by Beru Iaru today. This is going to be its last prediction. The future is up to them now. On Omote-san though, they ask Jin where Haru is so that they can learn more about sequencer that Aya gave her, which could be the way to erase all devils. They then tell how Aya was involved in comp development to Jin and how he too knows everything. But where could Haru be at times like this? At Shiba Park, Kazuya meets with Amane, who will persuade Kazuya to become a savior for humanity and to join with them once he becomes a devil king. She explains how human world will become a paradise under their god's rule. The more she talks about angels ruling over humanity, the more it sounds like living under a very strict Asian parents. Then they see Captain Izuna going around collecting info from Shomokai members. She confirms that explosion incident from half a year ago was caused by Shomokai while they were fighting with Jikokuten, which is something like a deity who protects Japan. It appears after defeating Jikokuten, summoning devils becomes much easier. What surprises Izuna though is that they managed to defeat Jikokuten before cons were even developed. They then meet Mari in Kanda. She offers to help the team out as a thanks. Yeah, I mean, Asuro's middle school teachers going to help her students fight gods and devils to save the world. Mari has to be the most ignorant person alive. Asuro tells her she could join them later, but not now. And then something unexpected happens. In Kamugicho, they have a run-in with devils and evil police fighting.
なんだこいつ、黒い顔しやがって。
いいほー、いいほー。
The name is Jagu Frost, and it prefers to be called Jagun. Anyway, what Jagun just said right now are the same lines from Midori. This Jagu Frost is actually the Jack Frost from back then. You will need to choose to help devils here if you want Jagu Frost to join your team, which I did, but this better suck. Jagu Frost is weak, and you are going to need long-range healing or to be fast as lightning and beat all the goons down. Okay, but how did Jack Frost turn to black? In Roppongi Hills, they see Jin and Azuma having a talk. Azuma is acting all high and mighty because he thinks Jin's call won't be able to harm him. But unfortunately, Jin got his call from Naoya and a Shomon guy, so Azuma had to learn it the hard way. The battle is straightforward, but you at least need to be fast, as Jin will quickly get surrounded by Shomon guy members. Jin knew all along that Aya won't be returning since the day she disappeared, but he holds to a mere chance that she might still be alive somewhere in the war. But now everything has come clear. Aya is no longer in this war. So now all Jin can do is save the city she once left. He tells the group he wants to be alone for a while and left. Azuma runs away with tail between his legs, never to be seen again. Also, I think. In Aoyama, Naoya tells them about his plan. He wants to make Kazuya a devil king and bring down God once and for all, ultimately ending the reign of gods and its trials. Yuzu argues that why he does not make other a king besides Kazuya, and Naoya says aside from Kazuya, there is only Beru devils who qualify of becoming a devil king, so he asks her back if he might want devil to become a devil king instead. Poor Yuzu. Like, literally every time he tries to talk back, she never seems to win a fight in conversation, because all I can see her win is only against Asuro, and he is going easy on her on purpose to not let her feel bad. Although Naoya's plan seems fun, the world becomes a lawless place without gods. Asuro and Yuzu seems to be okay with whatever Kazuya chooses, but Keisuke doesn't seem to like the plan. Kaido tells the team he ain't searching for Keisuke guy no more, and now he is cool. They meet with the playful guy again. He also gives them the idea that there is also a possibility where both God and devil could just be using human as an excuse to do what they want. This entire time, the game just keeps messing with my alignment choices. Jin comes back to them as he hasn't even thanked them properly for helping him out before. Then the team tells them what he needs to do in order to erase all devil, but before the explanation even ends, Jin is gone. Next, Kaido talks about his plan for world domination, without any plans but by brute force only. In Ueno, they see Honda and other people who want to escape the lockdown, but if they manage to go outside, fire will end and Reign of God will begin, so they can't let that happen. This is going to take a toll on both Honda and the team, because if the team succeeds in stopping them, it means Honda won't be able to see his son anymore. Not only that, there are also angels and devils to deal with here. By the way, if you are wondering how angel sounds like, it sounds like this. You can either choose to side with angels or devils or neither. I chose neither and things start to go out of hand quickly. I had to deal with two waves of angels and devils while trying to stop Honda and other people from escaping. And you need to defeat them yourself by taking away their comms. You can also try and escape with them, but I didn't because Reign of God just sounds like a bad news. And I want more time to think about my alignment choice. I felt sorry for Honda after this, but I had no choice. In Shinagawa, Jin is trying to ask Remy at the location of Sava. He finds no success, but when the team arrive and tell Lemire that they have a plan where they use Aya sounds to send all of them back by remodeling server, Lemire says she will reveal the location when the success rate of their plan is 100%, as revealing the location means bringing a disaster to the human world. But for now, they can take it as a yes from Lemire to their devil erasing plan. And then in Shiba Park, they meet with Lemire again, and she thinks erasing all devil is fine, but still, she talks about how God wills Kazuya to become savior and lead humanity. Just how persistent is she? You see, I love discovering new infos and all in games, but I don't think info dumps are handled well, especially during near the end. It was a good pacing from day 1 to 4, but 5 to 6 feels rushed. I be saying this, but I think anyone who plays this game can have totally different kind of experience, because this is just how this game is designed in the first place. The fight with Beru Iaru took me 40 minutes to beat. It was hard, but not because of the boss. Starting from this point, devil who can reflect physical attack starts appearing, so they were a bit of a trouble for me because I was going from physical build for both Kazuya and Asuro. So my main magic damage comes from Yuzu only. If you can deal with small fries, it is going to be easy. As for the boss, attack it with ice magic and prepare for his high damage fire attacks. After the fight, Jin arrived and apologized to Haru for lying to her about Aya, saying she went abroad for music study and all. Both of them grieve for Aya for a moment, and after that, they decide to move on. Then they talk about how they need to use Aya's sounds to erase devils and comes up with a plan to test Haru with creating the sound that can send devils back to their own world, which just so happened to be the same sound that Aya wanted Haru to make before she disappeared. Then Haru promised to finish the sound by tomorrow. This is going to be the last night before the final day. Discussing a warrior won't help anymore, so they just decide to rest early. This is where you can decide which alignment you want to go for. The game has 5 routes and some route has multiple endings in it. Neutral alignment Yuzu route, Law alignment Amane route, Chaos alignment Naoya route. You at least need to play these 3 routes in order to have a full understanding of the game story. And then there is Azuro's stupid devil slavery route, and Jin gave me back my Tokyo route. Sorry, couldn't think of a better name for them. Many people seem to think Yuzu route is bad, but I think it is possibly because how it ends in DS version. But now with additional content in 3DS version, which I am going to take it as a canon story to Yuzu route, I think this ending provides the most unique perspective than other 2 routes. In this route, Kazuya and his team instead focus on escaping the lockdown rather than doing something about devils. But then they soon realize they can face both the angels and government by only 3 of them, so they went back inside the lockdown. Then near the end, the entire humanity got ditched by God because this one guy right here said humans can stand on their own feet and that they don't need help from angels or God. It's a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you think. But this route shows both human and angel as bad guys, so when I played this route, I just thought it was a good idea as humans will never get to go through the same thing ever again. They intend to strike a deal with the government by defeating Beru Berito, and in return they want their parents to be released from being held hostage. I had a hard time fighting Beru Berito in the first playthrough, as you also have to fight with Honda and Baphomet too. You have to defeat Baphomet in order to defeat Honda, or else he will just keep reviving back. I was still trying to get by with what I got, so no wonder it was difficult for me. In this route, you are actually making Shomo Guy's founder's dream come true by cutting ties with angels and give autonomy to humanity, so he will submit to you willingly in the end. Also, this route appears to have 2 endings depending on whether you complete the barrier side quest or not. The team will need to bring up a barrier and close the gate that connects the human world and the devil world by restoring the place where Jigoku-tan once was by replacing him with Jin and his Takemi Kazuji. If you manage to do that, you are going to have a good ending of Yuzu route. But for me, I messed up choosing Advance and got the ending where they had to work together with the government to defend the humanity from Devil's constant assault for eternity, as they did not manage to close the gate. That's the thing. You are bound to miss some important event if you don't choose the events in order. Most of the time, you are going to just get the bad ending because of it. I don't like that. It's like you have to choose between the good ending or extra content. I actually thought of replaying this route again to get a good ending, but I felt like I was just forcing myself at this point, so I just accept the bad ending and move on. Choosing Yuzu's route first is not all that bad as I unlock Loki. I think this is the only devil that is equipped with true or resist passive skill, which is a very useful skill you can attain in this game. That's all I have to say about Yuzu route, so on to the next. I chose this route in my second playthrough. It was a chore to go through the entire game again, so I tried to keep things fresh by going off the script for a bit, and that almost led me to getting the default Yuzu route, but luckily I didn't manage to get Amane route in the end. I had different opinion with this route ending before, but after reading the dialogue of this route for the script again, I think law alignment is what I would choose if I were in that situation. This route focuses on becoming the god servant as a messiah after becoming a devil king. The last day of this route include fighting 3 Shitanos and seeing the gaping innes of the sky. And then you have to defeat 3 Beru devils, Izaberu, Beru Zebubu, and Beru Berito. After that, you have to fight Naoya at Hills in the end. Although Naoya seemed to be against Kazuya choosing to become a god servant, he let his cousin do what he wants after the fight. Then, after Kazuya absorbed all Beru Devil's power, he summoned Baberu and fight the security system. Then Baberu showed its true form and they had to fight all 5 Beru Devils again. After that, Kazuya becomes a Devil King and becomes a Messiah by serving under the god. I am more interested in the aftermath of this route more than anything. So what Angel wants to do is, they want to create a world devoid of sins. Another strict rule of angels, every sinner will be punished no matter how little or small their sin is. But Kazuya and his friends are exempt from such punishment because Kazuya is a messiah and his friends are his followers. But how will Angel punish the sinners? That question got quickly answered when Angel killed a man who stood apart from a woman and immediately got burned to death in front of their eyes. The punishment for sinning is death. Apparently, the team is also given a special exception from God. They will be sinned if they kill someone who has a dead brand on their head. Obviously, they quickly realize how crazy and absurd the system is, so they try to argue with angels to let them do the judging as they want to give the criminal a chance to atone for their sins. Angels agree and let them do what they believe, but warn them that they will take over if the sinner did not diminish in numbers. After that, you will have to choose which people you want to give chance and which people you want to punish. Good thing I judge people by appearance, so if they look like this, they are dead. Later in the game, the team then got approved by angels, and so the angels let them take over judgment in full control. And that's the last time we get to see angels, even though it is still halfway through playing this route. After that, they had a run-in with Honda and other guys trying to escape the lockdown with comms in their hands. Honda can leave the comm behind as he won't get paid if he didn't bring comm with him and his son's surgery needs money. The team did not have a choice but to stop them, so they did. And then Honda got paired up with Susanoo by someone to help him escape the lockdown. Turns out, the guy who gave Honda Susanoo is a Japanese god called Okuninushi, and they will have to take part in his trial if they want to rule Japan. Okuninushi wants the team to try and save the one who is punished from eternity, or else he is just going to kill everyone and try to reset Japan. I thought the lore route is gonna be all about angels and God, but nope, they are also Japanese gods. I can't help but wonder how megaten war looks like. There is also a backstory of Kazuya and Naoya, and it goes like this. Once upon a time, there exists Adam, who had many children, and among them, there exists Aberu and Kai. They are cousins who love each other a lot. The younger Aberu take care of sheep and the older Kai take care of farms. One day, God asked them to make offering, and so they did. But the God showed favor towards the offering made by Aberu, which ignites anger inside Kai, leading him to kill Aberu, his little cousin, making him the first human to ever commit murder. God then punished him by giving him eternal life, where he will keep dying and reincarnating, but each time he revives, he contains his past memory, making him not to forget the sin he committed. And Aberu, not being able to withhold his anger towards Kai, falls to hell. It also seems, unlike Kai, many people seem to have Aberu genes in themselves, but Aberu's descendant reborn as an entirely new person without the memories from the previous life. Kai is the only person who exists right from the start until now, making him the loneliest person in the world. These two people reborn time and time again, and now they reborn as Naoya and Kazuya, once again as cousin in this life. Kai, aka Kazuya, hold a very deep grudge against the god for making him kill his own cousin as a learning example for other people, which apparently was very common back then. God making an example of people by punishing them for committing a sin which never existed before. Naoya's grudge is not going anywhere until he kills the god. And that's the problem for the team. They are completely in a different route where they are serving the god and not killing the god, which basically means it is impossible to save Naoya from the curse in the first place. Okuninushi might have known this and intentionally imposed the current condition on them. Also, there is one cool thing that the game did. See, Aberu's descendant Kazuya did not born into this world with past memory, right? The game keeps asking what Kazuya feels about Naoya and if he hates him and all. But neither Kazuya nor me, the player, knows about the past, so I just can't help but feel sorry for Naoya, much less feeling anger. Now it all makes sense again why the god in this game made Kai remember and not Aberu, so that Aberu descendants could forgive Kai and enlighten Kai, breaking his curse altogether. It was all God's plan. See, you can't really hate the alignment you choose in this game. It makes you feel satisfied no matter the outcome. I was really salty about serving under God and angels, but now it doesn't sound really all that bad. Of course, they failed their last attempt at failing Naoya before the time limit, so now they had to face with Okuninushi. You had to fight Okuninushi 3 times. After 2 times, Naoya will arrive and cut the power Okuninushi was taken from, which enables him to revive time and time again. And then when Naoya came for Kazuya and said he ain't gonna let anyone harm his little cousin, I literally got goosebumps.
ゲロウがこいつは俺の弟だお前などに殺させはしない
Mind you, Naoya doesn't have any interest with this lore route at all, and he still helps his little cousin. What a beautiful brotherhood. And with Naoya's help, they defeat Okuninushi. Okuninushi will say he is now convinced he will be able to leave the Japan in their hand if 2 cousins were to join hands. After that, the other remains in Japan and continues their life. But for Kazuya, this is only a beginning, as he will have to go around the world to spread law and peace, to fulfill his role as a messiah. Amane's route is much longer than Yuzu route and packed with lots of content. It was a good run and I get to unlock Okuninushi and Metatron during this run, which are both very strong devils. But still, there is another side of the story I need to explore, so on to the next. This is my 3rd playthrough and I am at limit, and I can't bear any thought of replaying the entire game again, so this time I had 3 save files ready. Naoya route is a chaos alignment route, but it turns out it is the most fun and wholesome experience I have ever had in a megaten game. It is obvious the game seems to favor this route more than others, as this route has all the characters in it except Keisuke. But more importantly, you can recruit Jagaku Frost in this route. Although it is sad to see most characters don't really interact with Jagaku Frost most of the time, which is understandable since it will break a lot of characters' character. You have to fight 3 Shitanos and the remaining 3 Beru devils again, and then proceed to fighting with Barberu. Then you become a devil king. Everything is the same with the Amane route, with the only difference being you have to team up with Naoya, Kaido and Asuro, minus Yuzu, which is very surprising to see her leave. But then you get Mari and Jagaku Frost in return. It is genuinely funny to see Naoya try to interact with other characters. I felt empowered with Naoya and Kaido by my side, and I felt unstoppable. And Asuro throughout this route gets the short end of the stick all the time, as if he is a replacement for Yuzu. Really, everyone should have at least one friend like Asuro, the one friend who will follow you anywhere, even if you were to follow the villain path. After you become a Devil King, you have to choose how you will use your power, whether you want to kill anyone who defines you or you want to save people. I was going to choose the former, but it leaves a very bad taste in my mouth even for a game, so I chose to save people after all the troubles I had to go through to become a Devil King, which actually made the mundane and easy gameplay a bit challenging even in the third time playthrough. Now you only have the option to defend yourself from civilians and fighting angels at the same time. It is fine for the most part, but then there is this fight in particular where Amane and her followers join you halfway through the battle, and I had a very hard time trying to keep them alive. This route really paints the picture of angel and god in a really bad way, like they are the villain of this game. That goes the same for the other two routes from before too. Each route did a really good job assuring you that the route you chose is the correct one no matter what. But I think in the end, it all depends on the cause and the effect factor. Like if the angel did not have to worry about the potential threat of Kazuya becoming a Devil King and declaring war on them, I bet they will still be like the same angel from the law route. But now they have to protect themselves, so they have to devise underhanded methods like telling people how Kazuya is at fault for the lockdown not ending, which leads to Kazuya fighting his own people, taking advantage of Kazuya's kind-heartedness. It is obviously not something Angel might do, so I had a really clear vision of the good and the bad very early in this route. It is just right there in your face, so you don't need to go all philosophical about anything and just focus on characters. And it helps because characters are the main selling point in this route. Then you get to fight Metatron in the end, and when he lost the fight, he then called the remaining Archangels to aid him, but then Kazuya awakened his Devil King power and summoned devils at his will even without comms. Metatron then retreat back to the skies and declare Kazuya that he will be back with full force next time. After that, everyone rejoiced. But for Kazuya, this is only the beginning. He had to go to the Devil War and build an army of his own to fight with angels and gods. Bidding farewell to everyone, he then disappeared to the Devil War together with Jahaku Frost, which is very reassuring since no other human could join me on this lonely quest to save the world from the hands of gods to give the true freedom to humanity. Then after the credits, we get confirmed that Kazuya is now winning over angels and is expected to come back in near future. But hey, you get the bonus CG of Kazuya and Jahaku Frost, which is more than enough reason to play this route. I have no idea why these two routes even exist. So you have Jin route, where you get to know more about Jin, Haru and Aya. Jin wants to erase devils in this war by using the sound Aya created, so that Tokyo can return back to normal. Up until that point, I'm okay with it. But then I get to witness Jahaku returning back to Devil War by himself, and it is very unnecessarily sad and I hate it. Why do I have to experience this of all things while playing the route I don't care about? And then in the end, you get to fight Barbados without devils, and it sucks. Because you have to defend not only Haru but also Asura the entire time, and it also sucked. Haru dies in one hit, and it was very stressful doing the final fight. And that's about it. Now about Asura's route. He wants to keep devils in this war to make full use of them for further development of humanity or whatever that means. I can't see any use of devils other than physical labor. I don't understand what he is trying to achieve, and I don't intend to either. I'm glad I played this route last. So yeah, that's about it. I've managed to experience all route with this game, which I won't be doing again with any games anytime soon. It's not really my type of gameplay style, but I'm going to make this game an exception as I felt it was worth it. Definitely the 3 alignment routes minus the other 2. You can pick a full picture of the story with just those 3 routes. I recommend that, and I also recommend grinding the heck out of Scarecrows and fusing Strong Devil during your first playthrough. Now that I have experienced the game that many people seem to like a lot in the Megaten franchise, all I can say is what an experience that was. Not only does it give me a great gameplay experience, it also teaches me a lot of stuff about games in general. And now all I want is brain dead grindy Megaten game with Kazuma Kaneko art style. Or I might do videos on other games because Megaten fatigue is real, guys. And now to you who is watching the video till the end, and to those who start watching the video after hearing my voice right at the start, thank you so much for tuning in, and I really hope you had a great time. I wish to see you again in the next video. Until then, bye bye.